हरि ओम मानसी पंचकम आदिशंकर भगवान आदिशंकर रचयित जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्तिषु स्फुटतरायासं विजृम्भते य ब्रह्मादि पिपीलकांत तनुषु प्रोता जगत्साक्षिणी सैवाहं नाच दृश्यवस्तवति दृढप्रज्ञापि यस्यास्ति चे चंडालो अस्तु द्विजो अस्तु गुरुरित्येष मानुषी मम मनीषा मम. That consciousness which shines clearly in the states of waking, dream and deep sleep, that vichness of the world which interpenetrates all beings from Brahma down to ant, that verily I am not the seen object. He to whom there is such firm knowledge is the preceptor, be a Chandala or Brahmana. This is my conclusive view. That's it. So this is consciousness all entire, which is from Brahma onwards to a small ant, you, me, everyone is pervaded by consciousness only. It is the mind which takes consciousness and converts into phenomenal process, into name and form format. So it is consciousness. This is Bhagavan Adishankara says, those who has got this knowledge, I bow to him, I salute them. So he says, how much importance he is giving. So you must understand, always remember that you are consciousness, nityoham nirvikalpoham nirakaroham avyaya Siddhananda Rupaham Brahmaiva Nasamsari Mukto Hidibhavi Nityoham. I am eternal. Nirvikalpoham. There is no change. Vikalpa means modification. There are no modification in me. Because we undergo modification from birth to death. Childhood, infancy, childhood, boyhood, youth, old age and death. These are different changes that comes in the body, in the mind also. There are several changes always in the mind. Mind is but thoughts. Mind is but thoughts. Yattu chanchalata hinam tanmano amurta uchite tadeva jatapah siddhanta rupe moksha ichyati. Yattu chanchalata hinam, where there is no disturbance. Then mano, in the mind waves come, that waves, thought waves come, and that is Hinam, where there are no thoughts, that mind is consciousness only, and that is Parabrahman only. Mind is Parabrahman only. It is because of thoughts disturbance comes. Of course, even thoughts also consciousness only. Just like in this ocean, waves come, though they are big waves, but what is there in the waves? Water only. It is just like in ocean, water, in the same waves in the also, but ocean only. It is because pressure in the ocean, that same it rises up. In the same way, there are pressure in the mind by desires, then the consciousness convert into thoughts and they rise up. And by it is immortal condition where there are no thoughts in the mind. That is the immortal condition. That is the liberation only. That is liberation. You understand what is meant by liberation? Tadeva tapaha. By tapa means one has to aspire for it, one has to work for it. See, nothing comes for nothing. So one has to work for the one should have that restlessness. Tapaha means that restlessness.
Craving.
Craving, restlessness to have that ultimate reality, and that is called moksha. So here it is in the nature of consciousness. That's what Bhagavan Sri Shankara says. Brahmaham idam jagat sakalam chinmatra vistaritam sarvam chaitad vidyaya trigunaya ashesham maya kalpitam itham yasya drudamatihi suravare nityo pare nirmale chandalo astu jiyo astu Guritesha Manisha Mama. Those who have got ultimate reality as conscious, they know it. That is who is only preceptor. Otherwise not. He may be, it is not the caste, it is not the caste. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, it's not the caste. Whoever it may be, he may be a Chandala also. There is a story. Is a fact also in the biodata of Jivan Charitra of Adi Shankara, it is there. He was there in the Kashi for a long time. Every morning along with Shishyas he used to go to river Ganga there, take bath, do puja and return. Every day it is routine in the morning, that time. It so happened one day that a Chandala, a low caste man, along with his animals, was on the road, and it was obstructing Adi Shankara and his party passing on the road. In those days, small roads were there. It was a lot of difficulty was there for him to pass the road. It was happening daily. Daily that fellow was coming. Daily this thing was. One day he was vexed and asked, Hare, can't you see that we are coming to, you should give way, not obstruct the way. Then he turned, to whom you are asking me, he questioned. To whom you are asking me? To his body or mind? To whom you are asking? He put a question. Then he understood that his capacity, he is talking of, he is not body, mind, intellect, he is the Atman itself, which is moving. Then Shankara, Adi Shankara fell on his, and then that Chandala was nothing but Shiva only, just to give lesson, to demonstrate that all Shiva is there in each and everybody is a figment of the Shiva only, irrespective of caste and so like that. I am Brahman alone, and this entire world has been spread out by pure consciousness. That's more. There are two factors, absolute and relative factors. The absolute factor is Parabrahman Shiva, pure consciousness, and the relative consciousness Shivani, that is phenomenal consciousness. Shivani is phenomenal consciousness, and this phenomenal consciousness is but mind. It is the mind which takes the power from the Shiva and brings about the creational process in terms of name and form, individuality and variance it brings about. And that's there. So we are naturally only people 99% reckon they all know all this is only truth, on all variant, all this is so many people, so many varieties, so many talks, so many all varieties you see, they feel that is a truth, one only. They do not remember that it is only one, from that everything has come out. They do not know it, and there is natural, they will suffer for it. So it is all pure consciousness, absolute consciousness, pure consciousness. I am Brahman alone. I refers to Parabrahman. I is consciousness. I stands for consciousness because everybody says in the world, I. Everybody says I. Indians, Europeans, African, everybody says I. So that I means not anybody's property, not your property, not my property. It is a universal. That concept I consciousness is a consciousness. I is a consciousness of body of mind, limited. That is consciousness, but applied in terms of body, mind, intellect. So it is universal. I consciousness is not personal. It is universal. This good. So one should remember that things are happening, and we are from so many janmas, we are thinking that we are the body, mind, intellect. For that we are bound by that, and repeated life is there. Punarapi janmam, punarapi manam, punarjane jatreshini, samsare bahudustare. Kripaya pare pahe murari. Because of this ignorance, nescience, yani S-I-N, nescience, ignorance. This spiritual ignorance, nescience, man get born, lives 100 years and dies again, born, and it goes on repeatedly till one realizes his true nature of personality known as Atman, Parabrahman. I am Parabrahman alone, and this entire world has been spread out by consciousness only. It is nothing but everything is consciousness only. It is only mind brings us out of variance. And individually and macrocosmal Hiranyagarbha is known as Hiranyagarbha. The cosmic mind is known as Hiranyagarbha. All minds put together known as Hiranyagarbha. So all minds bring about this universe from the consciousness. All this without residue has been superimposed by me through nescience, which consists of three gunas, sattva, raja and tama. Nescience means ignorance, and that's because of three gunas, sattva guna, raja guna and tamo guna. And these gunas cover up the consciousness. And when one becomes aware of spirituality, that he goes from tamas to raj and raj to sattva. So unless there is sattva guna, it is not possible to appreciate the spiritual reality. The fact that you are coming for meditation shows you are sattva guna, that you have developed sattva in you. That property which is in the nature of consciousness. All this without residue has been superimposed by nescience. So Bhagavan Sri Shankara has proposed the theory of superimposition. And his guru is Govindapada and his guru Gaudapada, he said Ajatavada. Gaudapada initiated Ajatavada, doctrine of Ajatavada. That means actually there is no creation at all. Nobody is born, nobody is dying, he says. Can you believe it? Can world believe it? But it's a fact also. When he says Ajata, that is nobody is born and nobody is dying, he means referring to Atma. What is born is ego. the small, and how this ego is formed? Because of the mind. Daily, you and me, everybody is losing the ego consciousness in the sleep. In deep sleep, sushupta avastha, mind is not working, so the feeling of I and mine is not there, ego is not there. Do you feel? If you feel, that means that you are not slept.
Not sleeping.
You are not slept. In the same way, those who drink excessively and fall on the road, same thing is happening there also, drugs and other things also. Though in those days, even now also, to have the experience of ultimate reality, because they cannot do it normally, they get accustomed to ganja. You know ganja? In those very common, ganja was very common in those days, and that is just this goes on. It goes on. It goes on. And he goes on that he is in spirituality, and they consider they are having the experience of the Atman like that. And that's how things go on. And for whether Bhagavan is, they realize spirituality or not, but they have become slaves. Things happen like that. So all this new science, superimposition. So Bhagavan Adi Shankara proposed the doctrine of superimposition, and his guru's guru, that is Gaudapada, proposed the doctrine of Ajatavada, who said there is no creation at all, which is very difficult, but a fact, but very difficult to appreciate by normal person. So Bhagavan Shankara has proposed another doctrine, superimposition. Just come down from that to a lower level for a benefit of all common man. And that is superimposition. Say suppose you are going in the, of course we should have experience. You are going in night in a street. We come from villages. In those there no light. Current was not there in those days. Lantar తీసుకొని పోయేవాళ్ళం those days. So in those night, that example given, that one sees there is a pole, fixed pole, but from distance it looks as if it is a dayam. And he gets, oh, I have seen dayam, and he gets fear, afraid of that, and he becomes suspicious, and everything happens. And somebody comes, puts light, and he says it's not dayam, it is only just a pole. So what happens, and there is the superimpose, what has happened is, if this pole was not there, he would not experience. And that's mutual superimposition. If pole was not there, there was no question of
superimposition.
Yes. But mere pole is not there. But he misunderstood it, and he put his consciousness on that. He feels, that means he gave a live touch for it. He gave a live touch to a pole as a dayam, or a snake. Rope on the rope. There was a rope in the night. He put on that. I have treaded a snake. He felt, and afraid of this, and all the symptoms of snake bite. He had it. And somebody puts it. It's not a snake. It is only a rope. So there, what happens? If rope was not there in the night, he could have not got it. But mere rope is not sufficient. You see, ropes are. It is because of your mind has put its live touch for it. it imparted live touch to that rope and made it as a snake. And so mutually it's happening. So rope is putting on him and mind is putting on that both each. If rope was not there, mind was not misguided. And the mind was not there, rope would have not only rope, not the snake. Like that. That's mutual superimposition. Doctrine of mutual superimposition. Bhagavan Adi Shankara put it there. That's what is happening now. We superimpose that nescience, nescience means avidya, not knowing, spiritual ignorance. Nescience means spiritual ignorance is known as nescience, spiritual ignorance. That doctrine say, that's what happens is, we become ignorant. We think that we are the spiritual, not the Atman, but so we are think of only body, mind, intellect as self, but forgot the real self. Though real self, without real self, you would have not survived born at all. So both mutual superimposition. Body imposes on the Atma imposes on the body, mind, individuality. That's what happened. What is known as doctrine of superimposition. So that's what superimposition, that's nescience. And because, why is this ignorance come? Because of three gunas. Nature consists of three gunas. There is Tama, Raja and of all the last is the Tamo guna, is the inert. This is Tamo guna, this wall is Tamo guna. If you go next to you, go to say a plant is there, it has got a little life also in that. That is Rajoguna. The Rajoguna has come up there. It has known Rajoguna here, but in a plant the Rajoguna has come up. Small Rajoguna has come. In a small, then next insect.
Animal and insects.
Insect, in animals and insect, much more has come up. Evolution process has come up for Rajoguna. But Sattva has not come there. It is only Sattva means the awareness of his spiritual reality, realism. When Sattva develops, mind becomes clearer and consciousness. But when they are not in Rajaguna, it is like a mirror on which dust is there. Rajaguna is like a mirror on which dust is there. Because of dust you cannot see yourself. Like that, when mind is covered by samskaras, dust means samskaras, parardhakar samskaras, it forgets its reality, that it is Atman, but it forgets and feels that it is body, mind, intellect, and thereby comes to suffer birth and death repeated again and again till he becomes aware of to awareness. So a spiritualist is a pure sattvic guna is there. Of course, in sattva guna also there are different phases are there.
Some percentages will be different.
There are different phases, percentages there. Just like in intelligence also, intelligence coefficient is there. The highest is
162.
Yes. So like that. That what happens because of this Rajaguna. Because of these three gunas, Rajaguna, Tamo, Sattva, mind becomes unaware of this spirituality. Unlike those who are spiritual conscious, their Sattva has blown like a mirror. It is just like a light. It is just like a light, and appreciate the Atman concern. So like them, Rajoguna. Thus, he to whom there is firm knowledge in respect of the eternal, blemished, supreme Parabrahman, which is excellable bliss. It was in the nature of bliss, Satyananda Swarupa, bliss, because there is no other than itself. Bliss, Ananda is nothing, the feeling that there is no other than itself. You feel bliss when you become the same. When you feel there is no other than yourself, you are only the thing. That state is Ananda. Of course, one will be and when it comes down, so it is happiness and all things. If happiness and other things come down, when you have a cup of coffee, you get happy. It is not bliss; it is happiness. You get some money, you get happy. So bliss is something higher than this happiness. It's a pure thing. Happiness is because of something else, external. It is dependent upon the external object. Bliss is not dependent on external object. It is Atma, is bliss itself. It is Satchidananda Swarupa itself. And happiness and other things depends upon the mind because of gaining and losing. Something you gain little, your mind becomes happy. Something you lose, you becomes other opposite, pain and miserable. So happiness and misery is because the characters of the mind, the characters of the mind. But Atman is bliss itself. Satchidananda Swarupa, bliss itself, Ananda itself.
Its nature itself is bliss.
Yes. That's what is it. Unexcellable bliss is the preceptor to be a Chandala. So unless one has got this, is not a preceptor. All are not preceptors. Unless he has got this, we become Ananda Swarupa. You can't call him as a preceptor.
But nowadays, everybody, those who are interested to become preceptor,
that is the problem.
Everybody is made as
that's the nature of the Kali Yuga. Yeah, this is the nature of Kali Yuga. So we can't help it also. So that is then next. Shashvan narameva Vishwa Akhilam Nischitya Vacha Guru Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushruta Nirvyaja Shantatmana Bhutam Bhatita Tuskrutam Pradahata Samvinmaye Pavake Prarabdhaya Samarpitam Swavipurutyesha Manishi Mama. The entire universe constantly perishes, determining thus through the teaching of the preceptor, he who contemplates ceaselessly the eternal Brahman has his mind rendered guileless and quiescent, gets the evil results of his past, future and deeds burnt up in the fire of knowledge, and offers up his body to prarabdha karma. This is my concluded view. He says, because once you go on doing meditation, mind becomes suppler and suppler, sattvic and sattvic, sattva is subtle, and it becomes suppler and suppler, and becomes pervasive and pervasive, and all and the karma goes on. Goes removed as Sattva increases. Prarabdha karma is removed slowly. Of course, they say Prarabdha karma cannot be removed, it has to be lived for. The karma that is meant to be lived during this life is known as Prarabdha karma. But other karmas, Sanchita karma and Sanchita karma and Agami karma, they stop.
They can be altered.
They stop by the jnanam, but not prarabdha karma. That's the situation. One may become spiritualist, a jnani, but he cannot change prarabdha karma. Such as he cannot change his sex. Once he is born male, he must be male, or other things. So prarabdha karma is to be lived for. But agami karma and other karma, that is sanchita karma, they can be removed by jnana, by meditation. That's what he says.
Idi prarabdha karma can be changed by doing some prayaschitta karmas. Nowadays people are doing na.
It's not possible. You see, prarabdha karma is like that. Suppose an animal is tied with 5 feet rope in a fixed pool. How much liberty has got? 5 feet only. 5 feet. Within the 5 feet, it can lie down, it can get up. That is the liberty it has got. But it cannot go out of it. That is prarabdha karma. A astronaut is put into the capsule and sent into the space. He is sitting in the space and doing his job. How much liberty he has got? Everything depends upon the directions come from the ground station. It is time, they say, you sleep, he has to sleep. They say it is time to take this food. So all the directions come from the control room, from the ground. It is prarabdha karma like that.
Then what is the purpose of doing prayaschitta karmas?
Prayaschitta is, see, understand meaning of prayaschitta. Is there repentance? Prayaschitta means a repentance. I have done something wrong.
Won't it dilute our prarabdha?
My mind is disturbed. I do something, that is prayaschitta. The mind becomes calm, settled. I did something wrong. It disturbs my mind. And as Shastra says, if you do this, your disturbance in the mind comes down. That is prayaschitta karma. It doesn't mean that it will your papa will not go. That result will be always there. As Swamiji has said, yesterday, 2 days back, he said, same thing happened to Swami thing. A cat put 5 kittens here in my room. There. It was disturbing my wife. She was not able to sleep. What I did was I put in a bag and about 3-4 and put it there, that outside, so that it can be given. What happened is the mother cat has come next day, took away remaining one from here and left those 2 which were left there. You understand? I expected that mother will go and take them also, because it is natural, because they have scent. They recognize by scent, smelling. Understand? I know when I was a small boy in my native place, a small puppy, that is dog's puppy. I found it. I was very much interested in that, but my family father never allowed it. I have another house there, that side, somebody is living there, rent. I used to daily go and give milk that small puppy. You know that the moment I went through the gate, that puppy used to come away. Understand? Daily it was happening, and when I gave milk and go, it goes away. I expect that character with this, but that has not happened. The mother cat did not go there and pick up those. I expected that the mother will take them and go away from this. After 2 days, it has taken the remaining 3 and went away, left 2 there. One died, another is about to die. This has happened actually. Another died, one died because another cat came and killed it. They have got this. Another cat came and killed it. I found that he killed that corpse here. And the other one, second one is inside. The other cat, the cat could not go and go inside and kill it. That one is still there. That small kitten is there. Now who is to blame? Myself is to be blamed. It's prarabdha karma. I did that. I unnecessarily interfered because it's not my job to interfere. I expected that mother will go and pick it up. Because of my knowledge, I told puppy that is. So these animals will have that scent and go and pick up those, but it did not go. The mother, because there's a cat. Cat doesn't have this feeling. Dogs are cat different like this. I didn't have that feeling now. That kitten is now it is dying there. Another has died because the other cat came killed it, and this went inside and is hidden itself. It is there. That is the situation. It naturally, it will effect will be there on me because my mind is disturbing. That is an effect. My mind is disturbing. It means my mind is Atman only, conscious only. But that brought about changes, thought waves in my mind. Negative type of thought waves, it is getting me. I feel I have been responsible for it. And that's called suffering. That is a prabdha karma. That is the karma. That is it is there still happening. That is situation. Because it was not my duty to interfere. Because I interfered because of it was disturbing my wife's night. In the night, the ladies are very sensitive for these things. I am not sensitive, but they were very sensitive. I am not sleeping, she was telling. But what I could do, I tried to remove it, but the result is that this after 2 days it came water remaining 3. That mother never went there and took those 2. One died and the other is in the process of dying. So I have response, I feel. That is but of course, na punya pape hunasti nashro na janma dendra buddhirasti na bhuvya evam. So I have to go into leave this and go into my original state of Atman, which is nothing to do with this. Na punya pape namasti nashu. I don't have punya papa. Atman is not touched with the good or bad. Na punya pape manasti nashu. I don't have perishment. I have to recite and console myself. Na punya pape manasti nashu. Na janma dendra buddhirasti. I am not the 5 sensor organ. Buddhi means sensor organ. I am only Atman only. So I have to repeat. I say repeat also. That is the only way. So I am not touched with that. That experience I should have. I am not touched with good or bad. Though it is a bad thing, as a jiva I am affecting. As an individual ego I am affecting. But I am not affecting Atman. Trishudamas bhojam bhokta bhutebhim sakshi chinmatram sadashatas. What I am? Trishudamas bhojam bhokta bhogasya karta karma kriya subject. Trishudamas in waking state, dream state and sleep state. Dhamma means consciousness, stages of consciousness. There are stages of 4 stages of consciousness. 4th is turiya. Waking state, dream state. And sleep state. This is dhammas. As bhojam bhokta karta karma kriya. I am not that. I am not karta karma kriya. This is sakshi. I am only witness. That's what I was telling. One must cultivate this habit of that habit of sakshi to remain as witness. Now ego is suffering. I know it. It has to suffer. But I am not ego. There are 2 factors in me. One factor is suffering, other factor is not suffering. That not suffering only witness. It is witnessing the suffering of the mind. Because I know my mind is suffering. Don't you know? You know that mind is I am happy or not happy. Happy or not happy, mental feeling. You know that you are not that. When I see you, I am not you. Then Bhokta Tebhya Vilakshana, I am different. I am only Sakshi, witness. Chinmatram Sadat. Then what is I am? Pure Chinmatram, pure consciousness, absolute pure consciousness, not applied consciousness because of the mind. I have to go to that level and escape from this ego. So I have to go away from the ego jiva state to absolute state. And that is always, that is really, that's what's happening. Nothing has born, nothing has died. That's what Gaudapada says. Entire universe, life is just removed. There is nobody has born, nobody is dying, what he says. He is not a small person. He is Guru of Govinda, Bhagavad Pada's Guru. And Shankara Bhagavad wrote commentary on his works. Great philosopher. So I have to, at one phase of ego I am suffering. At another phase I have to go, I am only witness. I am only witness. So we have to develop constantly the process of witnessing. Sakshi Bhuta personality how to develop. Otherwise there is no other go. It doesn't mean that you are not suffering. I am only seeing the suffering. Because you see the mind. Suffering comes by the mind. When sleeping, suffering is not there because mind is not there. What you see in the sleep is the quiescent, dormant condition. There Atma is there in the sleep. But what is it is seeing? Dormancy of the mind. Not working condition of the mind. It is observing Sakshi for that. In the day, during Jagrata Sapna, it is witnessing working of the mind. That what you are and what I am, and for that all this trouble. To gain Sakshi Bhuta condition, to gain that and becomes permanent as all these activities. Sakshi Chinmatram Sada Shiva. Eternal, happy, blissful. Shiva means bliss. I am eternally blissful. Sakshi Chinmat, I am only witness only. That conditions have to be developed. So there are two phases happening simultaneously. We know only one, we do not know the other one. I am only suffering, but I am not. I do not have that capacity to see, to feel that I am not suffering. You have to suffer at the same time you feel you are not suffering. I am not suffering is the Atman. You understand?
Double role.
Huh?
Double role.
So like that it goes on. That pure consciousness which realized within clearly is the I by animals, men and God. This I means consciousness. It is common to all, from gods to ant. Ant also feels I. A small ant also feels I. have seen several ants passing. When they two come together, they go on touching each other and exchange their ideas and go away. That means that I feeling is common to all, from gods onwards towards insects also is common. Men, gods, and by those and whose light the mind, the sense organ, the bodies of the work. So it is because of the light of Atman, because Atman is consciousness itself. From that light we work, our mind works because of light of sun. You understand? We work, in life, our work, day-to-day work because of the sunlight. In the same way, the body, mind, intellect and five sense organs, motor organs and ego, they work in the light of Atman. When the Atman is not there, or the equipment is not there, the Atman is there. In death what happens? The equipment is not there. But Atman is there. It never born, and I say eternal it is. It has got no name and no form. Atma doesn't have any name and no form. It doesn't have any individuality. प्रज्ञान घन अग्राह्य अलक्षण अचिंत व्यपदेश एकात्म प्रत्यसार प्रापंचम शांत अद्वैत चतुर्थम मन्य आत्म विज्ञेय तत्शास्त्र से न अंतप्रज्ञा न बहिप्रज्ञा This is Bahiprajna. Now we are in the state of Bahiprajna. Antaprajna is mentally. During dream state, we are, whenever we think of, imagine, that is Antaprajna. This is Bahiprajna. Consciousness is coming outside through Panch 5 sense organs and become three-dimensional. Antaprajna, Bahiprajna, Antaprajna. And when you think of the mind, live in the mind, I thought that is Antaprajna. Na prajna, na ghana. It is not a pure as mass of consciousness as you see in the sleep. In sleep, what is happening? Only consciousness as a solid consciousness is there. That's prajna, ghana. Ghana means solid.
Solid.
Put together there. Is what's happening there. Consciousness is only there because mind is not there, because mind takes and disturbs it. Mind is not disturbed, it is there as a ghana. Prajnana ghana, agrahim, alaksham, achinta, avyapadesham. Agrahim, you can't appreciate it, you can't catch it. Agrahim, alaksham, you cannot infer it also. Alaksham, you are inferring. By seeking the smoke, we can infer that fire is there.
Fire.
Achintam, you cannot imagine also. Vyavaharyam, it is not vyavahara, but phenomenal. It is not phenomenal. Atma is not. Ekatma pratyasaram. It is the essence of all these. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti. It is the essence of that. Ekanta prapanchopashamam, where all the diversity has ceased. Phenomenal diversity has ceased because you go beyond that. You go to
Turiya state.
Huh?
Turiya state.
So you go beyond the mind. And Papanchopashamam, there all variance ceases. Because you go above the mind. You go above the mind and look at the mind. Suppose you traveled in the plane. Things are happening, so many things, but you are not touched. But you are seeing it, you are not touched. Like that. Prapanchopasam, Shantam, Prapanchopasam, all these phenomenal things have ceased. Mind becomes phenomenalization, has stopped there. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtam, Manya. There is no other than itself. That was, there was peace there. Because there is no other than itself. See, when you feel for yourself, you will in peace, because then other yourself is you only. So there is no other than you. You feel I am. You are not other than yourself. When you feel that, that is peace. When you feel that you are other than, that is disturbance comes because of mind comes. Santa Shiva Advan Chaturtam Manya is the fourth aspect of Jagrata Swapna, three aspects. So we can do experience that what he says, Shastra, you experience that. Shiva Chaturtam Manyas Atma is not Atma. So Vijnaya, try to understand it and try to live in it. That's what Shastra said. Like that. So, shine that which is like the solar or intelligence, shine that which is like the solar that is covered by the illumination. See what happens, sun is shining. How the clouds have formed? Because of light of the sun only. In the sea, the laser, it converts the sun converts the water into
Vapors. Vapors and clouds.
Vapor means clouds. But same clouds stops the sun. You understand my point? That is situation. Everything comes from the Atman, but it's covering the Atman itself. The clouds are formed by the sun only, but they are covering the sun itself. It is like what is happening. Like a lotus leaf. The lotus leaf lives in the water only, but it covers the water and prevents the water's view. It is like that. That's what he said. Contemplating that effulgence, always the yogi becomes filled with supreme happiness in his mind. You must become supreme happiness because you feel yourself. That is the bliss, ananda. I mean bliss. You are feeling yourself. I is the bliss. Where mind is not there, you go beyond mind. That is samadhi sthiti. That is known as samadhi sthiti. You go beyond the mind and look at the mind. That is samadhi state. Happiness. That one is preceptor means such fellow is a preceptor. Not all preceptors. That what he say. That one is preceptor. That is my conclusive view. That's Adi Shankar. That's my personal views, he says. Yau Saukhyambu Yes Sakyambu Dile Lesha Leshe Shata Ime Shakradayo Nivrutam Yachitte Itaram Prashanta Kalanam Labdva Munirvartaha Yasmin Nitya Sukham Budau Galita Dhir Brahmaivana Brahmavida Yakachis Surendra Vandita Pado Nunam Manisha Mama Yes Saukhyam Buddha Lesha Lesha Taime Prakashadayo Nivruta Yachitte Itaram Prashanta Kalani Labda Punirvirutaha Yes Tasmin Yasmin Nitya Sukham Budau Galitadir Brahmaivana Brahmavida Yakascha Surendra Vandita Pado Nunam Manisha Mama. The ocean of bliss, by taking a very small drop of which Indra and her gods become happy. Even their Indras are not able to get it. God of gods is not able to get it. That by gaining which is in the mind, that has become perfectly quiescent. Quiescent without modification. There are no thoughts in the mind. It is conscious only. Modification, the ascetic experience happiness. The ascetic means sannyasi, yogi becomes happiness, that ocean of eternal bliss, by dissolving the mind into which one remains even as Brahman. So once you dissolve your mind, thoughts in the mind, and becomes conscious that you are Brahman, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Knowing Brahman, one becomes Brahman itself. That is the beauty of Hinduism. No other religion tells, but only Hinduism tells. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. Knowing Brahman, becoming the knowing Brahman itself. Mind. By dissolving the mind into which one remains even as Brahman. Whoever he may be, he is the one whose fate allowed by even the king of gods. So those who realize it, even the Indra comes and touches their feet. That is the position Shastra gives such a person who has controlled his mind, who understood that his mind is nothing but thoughts, but consciousness. Because the thoughts come because of pressure of samskaras. And when he samadhi goes beyond the samskaras, mind becomes blissful. And that is absolute consciousness, that is Parabrahman itself. Thank you very much.